Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright, so I got a little something different here today on the Lone Wolf Podcast. If you've been keeping up with this like I have, you've heard there's some more news coming out now regarding Marilyn Manson. So I figured, you know what, I haven't wore this shirt on the show in a while. I'll put on my Marilyn Manson shirt. Marilyn Manson has been hit with some sexual assault / rape allegations that came out. Evan Rachel Wood, there's been other women that have come forward. Well, Manson is, he's firing back. He's going to be filing a lawsuit. Actually, I think he's already filed a lawsuit. But he's firing back at Evan Rachel Wood. He's claiming defamation as well as a few other things. I'm going to read to you one here from the USA Today. Read to you what this says. So, headline, Marilyn Manson sues Evan Rachel Wood for defamation, fraud amid sex abuse allegations. And it goes on to say, Marilyn Manson is suing Evan Rachel Wood for defamation, emotional distress, and impersonation over the internet weeks before the Westworld Stars HBO documentary Phoenix Rising is released. Manson, whose legal name is Brian Warner, filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles' Superior Court Wednesday, accusing his former fiancée and her friend artist, and I could be butchering this name here, but I believe it's Ilma Gore, of using falsities to publicly cast Manson as a rapist and abuser. The 22-page lawsuit obtained by USA Today claims Wood, who has spoken out about her abusive relationship with Manson, and Gore forged an FBI investigation letter to convince other women to come forward with sexual abuse allegations and coach them on what to say about Manson. The lawsuit accuses Wood and Gore of creating a fake email account impersonating Manson to concoct harmful correspondence and bolster the allegations levied against him. A representative for Wood did not immediately respond to a request for comment from USA Today. It goes on and gives like a quote Manson just put out recently about how he will eventually talk about what's going on, but in time, in time he will do that. For now, he wants to let the facts speak for themselves. Article goes on to say Warner's attorney claims Wood and Gore committed the alleged acts to elevate and bring attention to Wood's nonprofit, the Phoenix Act, which supports victims of domestic abuse and the upcoming film. This detailed complaint has been filed to stop a campaign of malicious and unjustified attacks on Brian Warner, Manson's attorney Howard King said in a statement. Okay, so here's where we get into the territory. It's who do you believe here? Okay. Seems the way our society functions nowadays, it's don't wait for the evidence, believe the victim. If they said it, you gotta believe it. Especially if it is a woman that said it, especially if it's a woman that said it and they're accusing a man of doing it, you have to believe them. Is that sound logic though? And I'm not just saying this because I've listened to Marilyn Manson for years. I liked The Cosby Show. When the evidence came out about what Bill Cosby did, I'm like, nah, dude's fucking sick, okay? I'm not opposed to changing my mind about someone that I've liked, okay? No matter how much I liked them. But the thing is, you should wait to see some evidence. Literally, whether you think it is a flawed system with the way the courts work these days or not, our entire judicial system is supposed to be based on the presumption that you are innocent until proven guilty. And in the court of public opinion nowadays, that's just not the case. Now, could Evan Rachel Wood be telling the truth about this? Of course she could. The only reason I would say that I'm questioning whether she's telling the truth or is she doing this to try to gain something out of it is because of something she said about, 10, 11 years ago, something she said in an interview. Let me roll that clip for you here real quick, and I'll let you hear what she had to say when she was actually together with Manson. Take a look.
We spent a year apart, and I think that year was incredibly important. No matter who I was with, nothing came close. Nothing. And I missed him every day. No matter who I was with, nothing came close. Nothing. And I missed him every day.
So there's probably some ultra feminist woke SJW that's going to hear what I'm about to say and, well, when you feel like you're entrapped and you're under pressure, you won't tell the truth and you really won't call it like it is. Could there be some truth to that? Sure, I'm not going to say there isn't, but let me be honest, okay? They had obviously already split up at one point, right? Okay. If they'd already split up, because it's kind of what she's referring to there in that clip, which is even when we were apart, like I missed him every day and there was like no one else, nothing was the same. And that doesn't sound like somebody that's being abused or like sexually assaulted. And she's like saying this stuff for a TV show on camera, right? Like, lady, if things are that bad, why? Why? I wouldn't. I asked my wife, would she? She said she wouldn't either. Because, like, my wife was one of the people who was like, oh, fuck him. Like, you got to believe the victim type shit. And I really had to, like, tell her, I'm like, yeah, but slow down a second. Does any of this really make sense to you when you sit down and think about it? And the more I explained, the more she's like, well, so you can't just jump to conclusions. You got to let the facts present themselves. And the fact is, whether it happened or not, that clip right there can be used against her. Because while they were actually dating, this is what she had to say about him. Now, all these years later, long time after this, now, for those who are going to say, well, you've got to believe the victim. Like, what we're going to pretend here? That no one could make up an allegation? We're going to pretend that no one could make up an allegation about somebody? Look, there have been victims of hate crimes. There have been victims of racial targeting of black people, lynching, okay? Has it ever happened? Sure. Could it happen today? Absolutely it could. But guess what? There are people who try to capitalize on that kind of stuff too to gain a little bit of fame and notoriety. Go talk to Jussie Smollett. Go talk to Bubba Wallace, who wants to claim that garage pull ropes were nooses meant to hang there to intimidate him to get out of NASCAR or something. This can be done. It's been done before. It'll probably be done again. This is nothing new. Okay? But you've got to examine the evidence. Jumping to conclusion is never a good thing. That's why you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Okay? That's why that standard exists in the first place. So, could Manson have done this? It's possible. Could she be lying about this? It's possible. But obviously, he feels he's got enough evidence on his side. He's going to take her to court over it because this has hurt him in a pretty significant way, right? Like, this has cost him a deal with his record label. This has caused him to be smeared and slandered all throughout the public. So if this really is made up, he is well within his rights to seek justice for these false accusations if that's what, in fact, they truly are. Okay? And if she's doing that to him just to gain a little bit of fame and notoriety, she deserves consequences for that. But only time will tell what the facts really are. Is he telling the truth? Is she telling the truth? I guess we're going to have to find out in the long run. Personally, based on that clip, I'm not going to say for sure that I believe everything 100% on either side. I will say this at the most. It makes me skeptical of, is she telling the truth or not? And unfortunately, that's all it's going to take for a jury, perhaps, to just put that doubt in their mind. Remember, you got to provide proof beyond reasonable doubt. Okay? So, there you have it. That's my take. Let me know what you think. Do you think Manson is guilty of these things? obviously, I think there would be a lot of people who would say, look at him, he looks like a weirdo, he looks like a freak. Obviously, he's an oddball, he's this, he's that. So there's a lot of people who, based off of appearances, would say, oh, of course he's guilty of it. But let's not be judgmental here, folks. Let's not judge the man based off his appearances. Examine the facts, look at the clip. Do you think that it's the way she's claiming it is? If you do, let me know why you think that. If you don't, let me know what you think about Manson filing this lawsuit. Drop those comments in the comment box down below. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.